Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to FMLFPL Milan.
This Walsh.
So this was the week that I remember that we always tend to seesaw our points. One of us goes up, the other one goes down. This week I'm absolutely flying, so...
Yeah, how'd you go?
I know how you're
let
doing.
Let everyone know. I'm doing great.
I'm on 79 points. A lot of fucking points. 417k game week rank, up 500k. I'm still 2 million overall, so that's bad, but huge green. Basically everyone got me points. You know, Cap Sun came in for us and all the pod boys, and Saka I brought in, got me a goal. Just points all over the place. Kane and Son finally paying back my minus 12.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Jack got a return first time in a few months.
Jack and Bruno is coming away with 10 and 7 in that match. It's just so huge.
Bruno
felt huge.
Got away with one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Good job by you.
Yeah, great job. Yeah, just a huge week. Sufal on my bench was 6 and didn't even need him.
Didn't need him.
Yeah.
Didn't need him. Oh, got fucked.
And then the U story is just no Pope and Cho.
Didn't need him. Didn't need him.
Cho.
Cho, didn't need him. Yeah, it's all good. 53.
Someone asked if Cho has been added to the list, and it was just like, obviously. I wrote back obviously in all caps. The people to kill list, the Billy Madison list. It's just
you know, I think Rodri's more on the list than Cho. I don't really have anything against Cho. He's just a little child baby trying to do his best. I don't have anything against him at all. Yeah. It's more it's Rodri's getting on not on the list. Not Benson's.
Oh, not Benson's. On the list.
No. Not yet.
Costs you a lot of points.
You forget the triple defense. I triple defense every year. This was nothing. This was nothing.
I was thinking back to, it was only like 2 pods ago, maybe 3 pods ago, you were saying how fun it is to have 5-4-5s on different teams. It's so fun. It's so chill. And then you go from that directly to the most stressful possible thing of just tripling up on a team.
Yeah.
It's just small things.
No, I mean, emotionally, you feel things.
Yeah.
You feel things. Yeah. Everything's louder and the volume's turned up and the feelings are more feelsies. But it's still... So, I mean, I have Cancelo, Diash, and Stones. I've slowly, over the last 2 weeks, I migrated into this. And it's obviously didn't work this week, but it's just backing what we've been talking about for about 2 months about City just being a different team, easily best defense in the league. Easily. So... It still feels like a good place to put a few eggs in a basket because they look good and the price isn't exorbitant. You know, I still have a really good attack. So hopefully it comes in, but didn't work this week. You know, the worst triple ups were the Chelsea ones when we have like Moses getting cards, Bodker getting off at 60, and like Marcos A not playing.
That's
because that's my life. Or the Wolves triple up when I think I was on them for 2 months,
like Bennett,
and they didn't keep one clean.
Bennett
goalie, and the goalie and Rui.
Oh yeah, and Rui.
They didn't get a clean for like 2 months or something.
That was worse. Fair enough.
I'm used to this, but it was a shock to the system because.
You could hear a pin drop over our Discord call.
It's tough. It was tough. It's tough. The toughest thing is they kicked the ball off after the goal. Full-time whistle blown immediately.
Oh, it was the last kick of the game.
Yeah. So, you know, you it's hard to take those. But you trust the process. And City were obviously in control of the game. Clean obviously was warranted on balance of the play, and they'll get more clean. So
that's what I texted
it's a good
you,
job
basically.
By me.
It's like it's a blow, but at the same time, away Chelsea's top 4 hardest fixture to clean for them.
Don't agree.
Who's ahead? I mean, obviously Liverpool, and then United.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like fixtures, the way that Frank's been playing, I feel like fixtures like even like Southampton or Villa are maybe tougher because Chelsea just they've
so
been
top
parking.
5. You know,
No, I mean it's not a good fixture, but it doesn't matter. Like that's just like trying to cheer me up. It doesn't matter.
5.
It's an easy fixture for City, as we saw.
Yes, but it's also top 5 worst fixture, and every other fixture in the next group is like top 5 easiest. So
yeah,
you know,
the thing about it though too is we play in a small sample size world, and like when I like 2-3 games ago when the Benson thing happened, and I lose like 11 points or whatever.
Yeah,
and then this thing, and it's like these improbable things that happen when you have a lot of like stake on it is just. The coin flips don't go my way or whatever, and then like when they compile, then it's just challenging to withstand.
Yes.
So we'll see how it goes for the next few
We're living in a small
weeks,
sample size world, and I'm a small sample size girl. You know?
Yeah, me too.
Shout out Madonna. Let me update the leagues.
Yeah.
Shout out to the top 3 FML Field Prize League Mug League leaders for January so far. 1 game weekend. Alex Crone, a.k.a. Havertz Will Travel. 96-pointer. Jesus. Jack Gaynor, a.k.a. Gaynor FC. And Kjell Hamburg, a.k.a. Seshhead
Wait, Jack
United.
second?
Jack Gaynor.
Oh, my God.
95 points. 95 points. Yes.
Wait, I didn't see this. Wait,
Yes.
How's he doing this year?
Lying. And Kjell, 93-pointer.
No, he's in first.
No, it doesn't update.
He took
fast,
a hit.
dude.
It's fucked up.
It's always. I have to use a separate website to get the rankings because it never updates in time. But yeah, and then Bad Hamburg's in third. Fucking
dude? Jack's doing really well this year. He's like 300K.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Oh yeah, his team's solid. Okay. Fuck.
You don't
Big
just
Jack.
drop 95 pointers without a solid team. Yeah, I mean, how could you not have holding? And then shout out to the leader of the FML Field Public League. Actually, a tie. Louise May, a.k.a. Nom Nom Nom, and Peterton, a.k.a. 82 Coutinho. He's just been up there all season, so good job by them. All right. I feel like there's 2 very obvious places to start, and they're sort of side by side. There's Liverpool and their slump, and then there's City and their destruction.
No Palace?
What do you want to talk about Palace?
3 points. Up the Eagles.
Which one do you want to start with?
Well, let's do your team because we actually didn't watch the game together, didn't talk about it. So I'm interested to hear your position on this.
So we got 2 questions. Mr. T on Twitter said, has Salah just become worse than KDB? And then Yobil said, Mo has a total of 1.2 on XG, 0.08 XA over the last 3. Any concern there? Is Mo to KDB an overreaction? I think people are talking about that because City don't blank this week and they have home Brighton. So that's definitely like relevant for the comparison. But
sure.
Yeah, I mean, just insane slump. There's nothing else to say, really. They look like shit. They're playing like shit. Mo especially is like the least involved that I can remember. Like I feel like he didn't touch the ball today. He had like 1 shot, maybe 1 key pass. Like it was all Mane. It was all fucking Mane today, who was just trying to beat 2 guys all the time, put the balls in, take the shots,
Mane's head was far the fuck up his ass today.
I don't think so. I think he did a pretty good job. He's like one of the only players I thought that could say like he did stuff.
He did stuff, but when it came to the final ball or the final moment in the box, he did not do any good stuff. He didn't do shit.
I mean,
I think he's a prime reason why they didn't score was because of his poor job in the box. And
that's
20 touches he had in the box.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree.
It was funneling through him. And he couldn't do anything.
He did a decent job of being the only guy to do any attacking, basically. Like Bob and Mo were just MIA.
Bob was a passenger, but
and
I
so
think
was Mo, and I think that's worse to me than trying to beat guys and do stuff all day. You know, and
it's
arguably
not the same
drawing
thing
a pen.
though because they funnel it down the left, like even more so. Trent was also head up the ass subbed for fucking Milner, so
horrible. They're
funneling it to the left, overloading the left. So Mo's going to be only feeding on the movement or the crossing or the balls to him. So I think think that was more by design than Mo individually. And he had the biggest chance of the game, that header.
But
that he
part of the design, I think, is because Mo's been playing so bad. Like I don't think
so.
If they could get Mo isolated like Mane was isolated, I think they would. You would take that, you know, if he's just isolated in the box with Bertrand like Mane was on the right, you know, I mean on the left. So
I mean, Robbo was playing winger. It was the same kind of thing, though, where Trent was more reserved. I mean, Trent got a little bit more forward sometimes in the second half of the first half, but Robbo was playing winger, and they were just overloading that side again. Yeah. And I feel like they've been doing that similarly the last couple of weeks. And Mo, again, he had a big chance that he fucked, and he had a couple big chances. Newcastle that he fucked. I don't feel to look at these 2-3 games.
The Newcastle was much different, though. Newcastle was 2 1v1s with the ball at his feet. The big chance today was a contested header.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean,
and then West
either
Brom
way
didn't have anything. You know.
Yeah, well, no one did that game. But either way, you know, it's like we've seen multiple 3, 4. This is the 4th season of Mo. So to look at 2-3 games and be like, oh, is he bad? It's like that's just enough. Okay,
right.
He's blanking, and you want to maybe roll around, fine. But you know he's going to come snap back into it.
Yeah,
they had a. The biggest thing to me today was that handball on Stevens that they didn't even really spend time on, because that looked like a nailed on handball. I don't think any of the other like shoulder to shoulders or whatever were pens, but that looked like a handball to me.
The tilting thing was how the announcers kept being like, oh, they only have one shot on target. I was like, well, Genie's shot was on target until he blocked it with his fucking hand. Like, give me a break. But yeah, I mean, they look fucking sluggish, leggy, tired, bad, dysfunctional. I mean, they're Hendo and Fab at center back and not in midfield.
Thiago didn't do anything today.
Thiago and Ox starting their first games.
Ox was anonymous.
A year, 6 months, a year. Like,
I mean, the blueprint.
It was all bad.
Containing Liverpool seems to be very clear, where you congest the middle, you force them out wide, and you make them cross into small fucks when you have 4 players in the middle.
They cross.
This is the last few games. Like every time they don't score. Those are the games. And when they cross, they're not... I don't know why they do it. I don't understand why they continually cross, because they have all these small guys, you know, and they get like half chances periodically off them, but they never try and pull it inside or do some like 1-2 combinations. And when they do, then that's when they get closer. But
they're like taking what's given instead of like forcing the issue.
Yeah. So
I totally agree. So,
the other thing about the game today, though, was like they score the set piece goal in the second minute, and then they don't play. I mean, there was no game. It was just a bus. They just parked.
Yeah.
And
that dictated the game. Like, I don't think Southampton would have played that way without the goal. Yeah.
No, yeah. And that's fine. They do that thing, but it's still just, you know what's coming, and they still can't solve the puzzle, which is frustrating because, I mean, a lot of people have gotten 2 or 3 Liverpool assets when they have this really easy, in air quotes, easy run of fixtures, and they've fucking looked horrible, and now they have this blank. So, I mean, it's a tough one, but I still think you just hold the players, because it's still a good team, and they're still gonna be first, second in the league this year. Yeah,
it was I don't remember which match it was. It was a few weeks ago or something like that. Someone on Anfield Rap was saying, if Hendo wasn't on the pitch, this would be the type of game where I'm like, we fucking need Hendo in midfield and need to sub him on at halftime, you know? And it just felt like the midfield was just so dysfunctional and bad and missing today. And sure, Hendo's probably better than Reece Williams and Nat Phillips, but like, I just felt like the midfield was just needed the old guys, like the old staples, to just get in there.
Well, this is the other thing too that was unusual about, because you were talking about Hendo coming in at center back, and he didn't have to play after like the 20th minute, center back, the position, but they were fucking wide open all over the place for the first like 10-15. There was a lot of space between Fabinho and Hendo. It was a mess. There were a lot of runs that were wide open that like the ball wasn't played to them, but they eased into the game, and then again, I mean, they just stopped getting attacked too, so it was easy. But Klopp usually makes like 1 or 2 changes, and he all of a sudden he's like, Fabinho first start, like Ox hasn't played in a year, and like Hendo in center back, and he's not. This isn't fucking West Brom. Like, this is a good team. I was very surprised that, because this is something we talked about. Like, okay, this would have been a good team against Newcastle.
Yeah, exactly.
And I appreciate that Thiago could not start because it was too soon for him but to play this team again. I mean,
Like,
or
where was
Burnley
Curtis?
coming up,
I
or
was
West
like-
Ham, or Brighton. It's like play this new kind of thing against these bad teams. He
Yeah,
plays
yeah,
against like
exactly.
a good team. It's nuts.
Exactly.
Yeah, Curtis. And Curtis needs a rest. Like, fine, but you don't do all of this upheaval and then
Yeah,
they
it
don't
was bad.
function.
It was
It was
horrible.
nuts. Yeah, it was
Horrible.
really nuts today.
But yeah, so going back to the questions, I think has Mo become worse than Kev? Like, that shit is sort of funny, whatever. But like, I think the real question should be like, A, has Man City's performance against Chelsea changed our perspective on Man City's attacking assets going forward, in particular
no.
Kev? And B, has Liverpool's back-to-back-to-back bad attacking performances, specifically Mo, changed our perspective on Liverpool's attacking assets going forward? Which it seems me and you are both kind of happy to hold. They have a full week off now. And then, so let's just transition to City. I mean, what do you think? Did that change
it's
anything
the
for you?
same. No, absolutely 0%. Nothing
Honestly, me
even
neither.
remotely close. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, a couple of the things went in. They could have had 4 or 5, but they could have had 4 or 5 when they were scoring one. I mean, they've been missing a lot of good opportunities, and Frank bent over and spread the cheeks, and then Pepino
Truly.
just went straight in all the way up
All
through
the
the
way,
body,
balls deep.
out the mouth, like
Yeah.
just the entire evisceration of soul.
Yeah.
And that's just what happened. It was just not a competitive game.
evisceration of the soul. Oh my
It
god.
was laughable and embarrassing
Yeah,
if you're a
yeah.
Chelsea supporter. You're watching that game with the dark blue, and
That's
what it
as
was.
If he didn't know who was on Man City, like he didn't watch Man City for the past 3 seasons, and he's like, "Oh, we can be open and press these guys high. Like they'll never beat the press. They'll never get through our press and counter." It's like, whoa, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, I think
it's the
it was
same-
much more that than City
Yeah.
changing their style and doing anything. And like,
City, the lineup was we're going to win 1-0.
yes,
That's what the team was.
absolutely.
They played.
Yeah, Kev Striker means
it's-
we're going to win 1-0. That
Yeah,
doesn't mean we're
at
going to
most.
score 5. Yeah.
Yeah, and Frank had other ideas. Mr. Franklin wanted to just do the thing, so they lost 3-1 or whatever. But
Right.
it's still. I mean, I need to see this. No, I mean, I don't even know how. There's
That's
no.
the thing. Yeah.
It's just there's nothing different.
Well,
it's the
there's
exact
no
same
other
thing that
teams-
has been happening.
No other teams, bar Leeds, because they're fucking Leeds, would ever let City have this much space on the counter. So until we see a good attacking performance in the normal match, where a team's playing 10 behind the ball, and City are then creating a million chances and scoring 4 or 5, then,
Which won't happen.
which probably won't happen
Not with
because they're
this
not
team.
playing this style.
They don't have
this
the players.
Yeah. So I'm
know,
basically
it's
with
both.
you. I mean, the fixtures are
Yeah.
great. People, Jesse was asking about Raz, Ralph and Jax were asking about Kev and stuff, and it's just, I basically feel the same way. That said, they do have the extra fixture, and, doing like someone like Mo to Kev, who has an extra match, I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yeah, or Raz, even if you're looking at
Raz.
for just a couple weeks, like you're getting 3 games instead of 1 the next 2 game weeks.
2 of Mo's are home United and away Spurs. We know those
Oh,
are going to be
Liverpool have a
fucking
double.
tough.
Yeah,
They do have a double, but
so
they have home United away
it's-
Spurs, 2 out of the next 3. Whereas you could go Kev or Raz, you have Brighton, Palace, Villa all at home, and then away West Brom. And then home Sheffield.
Yeah, so that's the thing to
I
do.
kind of like that.
Yeah, but it still comes back to you need to look at your team's specific context, and
Yeah.
Mo can obviously get a pen here, the thing over
Yeah.
there, and then all of a sudden you're just fucked, and you're spinning your wheels because we know who Mo is, and he's a good
Yeah.
player, and you look at the value of tied up and all that, but I still it's hard for me to look past the defensive assets for City because they're just cheaper, and
They're
they
so
start
cheap.
with the return, and City they're not free flowing. It's like we have a bias over the last few years where they score 4 and 5 all the time, and that's not what they do this year.
Yeah.
So I still just think if you're going to be looking for these players to put in your team, that you want the defenders, and Son, Mo, there are other midfielders or strikers that you could fill your team with, and
Rash.
the defense looks better. Yeah, the defense looks good. So
Yeah, I agree.
I just think that selling Mo, it's just, this happens every year. There's, he has a few blanks, and then people get rid, and then they're like, oh my God, I'm never selling Mo again. LOL, I'm going to remember next year. And then it's just rinse, repeat. It's rinse,
You have
it's
to
the
have
same shit.
You have to have the mentality. Like, if you're gonna because he'll score 17 one of these weeks, and we have no idea when it's going to come. It could be literally any match. So if that's going to break you and you're going to be upset and whatever, then don't get rid of him because it's going to happen. But if you can handle trusting yourself and trusting your gut and trusting the fixtures and the data and everything, and then go for it, Like, I think it's an upside play, and I like it. So
I don't like it.
yeah, okay. That's fine.
Yeah. I understand it, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
I would never advise someone to do it.
Right. Yeah. Totally reasonable. Another talking point is Arsenal. I mean, we have our Arsenal back, which I tweet every year at some point. But Chuck Norris said, I know you guys don't like to discuss chip strategy. Can you touch on Arsenal player for the free hit? A lot of people are free hitting this week. Is Lacazette crazy for a 1 week punt? So there's a lot of interesting guys all of a sudden in Arsenal, and none of them are Aubameyang. But what are you thinking between Laka, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, defenders? Like, they have options.
Yeah, they definitely are. Playing the kids are making a difference, but
Yeah.
Saka's a nice pick because you know about the minutes and he's cheap.
Yeah.
Smith Rowe, I'm less keen on. The price is good at 4.4, but he's as the creator, you never know when those points are going to come, and he could score 1 goal in 1,000 minutes. That wouldn't be surprising. He's just like the facilitator.
He's a fifth
Yeah,
mid.
he's a fifth mid if you need a fifth mid. But
Yeah.
Martinelli not playing was very surprising to me because I thought his minutes were being managed by being subbed off. I didn't think he would be benched, but I guess, they saw the West Brom game as one that they didn't need him for. But, you mentioned also, right, about Obbs and him playing kind of similar on the left, or if Laka's playing, how's that going to fit? And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's all a thing to consider. I mean, putting Laka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Obbs, and Saka on the same team together could work, but not without Partey. They need him in there to do the 2-man job of one human.
Right.
So maybe it's just Saka's the easy one because they're all cheap other than Laka in midfield. So he's the minutes are coming. So I mean that's who you picked. Is that kind of what you saw?
That's why I like him. Yeah, I mean that you just summed up why I like him. I mean I was citing the stats since game week 10 on last episode when he started playing regularly as a forward. He's played 90 almost every game since then. Started every game, and his stats are really good. And his eye test is always really good, and he's really involved. And that's what I want.
And and he also checked. I mean, precog we thought he was going to be at 6. I thought he was going to come in at 6 this year.
Yeah, didn't you start the season with him or
no, because he was hurt or whatever.
There was something.
Something was weird.
We talked about it. I remember thinking about starting the season with him because
he was one of those if he's in the Foden, if he's gonna or Greenwood, he's too good. He's going to be underpriced, and he was even lower than we thought he was going to be when we were talking about it.
And I think he ended the season strong, and that was in our thoughts, and they won the cup and all that shit. So I love the Saka pick. Listen, Laka's reasonable.
Yeah, he's been playing really well this year.
He's been playing really well. The team also functioning for the first time all season helps. Good
fixtures.
He's honestly very reasonable.
Yeah,
and
8-2.
Good fixtures, doesn't blank, reasonable.
Yeah, reasonable.
Yeah, like it.
Martinelli, though, I'm obviously obsessed with him, but I still feel like he's the brace. He's the guy who's going to blow up. He's going to have a couple games where he blows up, and it's going to be like, oh, shit.
Yeah, the thing with him is that Aubameyang is clearly the worst of this group, which is really weird to say.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's droppable, IRL. I don't know if he's still a leader in some ways. And
I still feel like Martinelli could move around, though. He's not condemned to playing over there.
For sure, but it doesn't seem reasonable at this point to drop Smith Rowe from his position and Saka from his position or Laka from his position, and you're just left with one.
Well, that's where I think that 4 can coexist because Obbs and Laka and Martinelli, they can move around all the time. Because Laka's been really good in the hole. I mean, he's been really good when he's dropped behind the striker. So you could put Obbs or Martinelli can switch position, striker, left wing if you have it's just the 2 behind. Like Shaka and Sabaya, it's just that doesn't work. They need Partey back to try that, I think. So
Smith
Rowe also. Oh wait, that leaves Smith Rowe out. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
5. Yeah, so maybe that doesn't work. Okay. I don't know.
It's hard. It's a tough one. But yeah, I mean, they're looking great.
Saka does. Look,
Props
just
to
the minutes.
fucking Mikel. Jesus. I mean, it took a long time, but they finally have a team.
I mean, I have no props to him at all.
Well,
I would give him props if he did this in game week 7.
okay, but he eventually got there. You know,
Dude,
they've won 3 straight.
Off eventually. I mean, even Franklin would have found this eventually. He's just fucking 4 months. They were in 16th place.
Franklin's
he shouldn't
still
get any props.
Starting Werner and shit.
How do you give Arteta props for this? That's ridiculous.
He eventually found it, and they're playing well. That's all I care about if I'm an Arsenal fan, is like the future. Yeah. They're not going to fucking win the league or be a Champions League team this year. So if he eventually finds his way and is the future manager to lead them, then that's good.
All right.
That's all you want from him. Other than that, we didn't really get questions this week. We got one, but is there anything else you want to go into? I mean, there was a ton of action, but the football's still kind of bad and like lethargic for the most part.
Yeah, the games weren't great this week, and I think stop.
And a lot of things went
Everton
as
are still very. They keep elevating or escalating into like a new level of concern watching them play, because
that is the one question we have, was Hemdog asking about DCL again, because he's just reminding of like basically what they were like post restart, which is pretty similar to what their team is right now without a bunch of the stars, and just asking about if it's time to sell or not. And it's testing for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't put forth like a dominating performance where they've scored a few goals since like October.
Yeah.
And it's getting tiring to talk about, the injuries. They've only been missing like 1 or 2 players. I mean,
they only have the squad. I've been saying this all season. They have 5 good players. So if they're missing 3, it's a huge deal.
Yeah. And I mean, the squad is just so limited or whatever.
So rough.
I mean, DCL, he always is. That's the thing with him, right? He's always looks good even when they're bad. Like, he was holding up, he was getting involved when this is the kind of game, like if it was just a normal number 9 in that game, he would have had 3 touches and done just not like McBurney or something. Or whatever. And he was like dropping deep, he was trying to get involved.
Kickoff, like that kind of game.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's still like is active and like running around and offering and stuff. So he's still doing that stuff, but at the same time, when the team doesn't function to this extent for this long, getting the assist on the side pass or getting fouled for a pen is only going to take you so far. And 5 games without a goal is a really long time in this league. I mean, that's a really long time. Yeah, and they have a few tough fixtures coming up, so I don't really have too much problem if you're again, casting your eye on him. I'm going to hold him still, because I still just
why.
I don't see other picks in and around his price bracket that I'm going to be feeling like, I'm going to really be gaining points here, because I think the margin is that slim and I don't have any money in the bank. Maybe Ings would be the one player.
Wilf,
I mean, I can't get Wilf because I'm already 5 mid. So it would really be... Again, I mean, I can't find like $1 million to go up. So I'm looking at him or below. So my specific team is different. So that's probably more the reason. I have Bamford. So there's nowhere I can downgrade where I feel like I'm going to do better than him. And I don't have anywhere where I want to downgrade elsewhere to upgrade him. So it's still just...
what was it, 5 weeks ago? It felt like there were some actual good cheap forward options. But when you sort by price below DCL, it's very limiting.
Yeah, it's limiting.
There's really not much.
And,
besides
I still have value in him. So, I mean, my sell's at 7.4. So, yeah, I mean, it's basically just kind of hoping that, Carlo, or they kind of figure it out in the next couple and, he gets back on his way, because I still think he's an incredible player. And I'm just content still to just stick with him for a little bit more. It's going to, it'll just take more for me to go elsewhere, because I still feel like he's a good pick.
Yeah, I feel like you have to hope that the guys coming... Well, now that the pile-up's over, so James can actually play 1 game a week, like the guys coming back soon should just elevate them back to being a way better team, which I think it will. It's just a matter of when it actually happens. Like, we've been waiting for fucking Ricardo Pereira, supposed to come back in October, and still isn't back, so you never know with these guys, like, what the deal is, but...
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a double, so that's another thing, right? People are getting
Right.
rid, they want doublers, so.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny that he price dropped with, like, he's playing in the blank. He should probably
He's so
price drop
dropped.
after the blank, right? Like,
Yeah.
but you know, whatever. Anything else, anywhere else you want to go?
Well, I mean, I think that we had another good data point on the Spurs Leeds game, right? I mean,
Right.
obviously in our like Discord or our group, you know, the Spurs captain was like 80% or
The
something,
most
but
nailed on, yeah.
in the wider scheme of things, I think Bruno was the highest capped.
Yeah, Mo,
And-
Bruno, Kane, Son were all like basically the same.
Yeah, but I mean, I think, you know, Bruno, obviously it's Bruno, so he gets points, but in open play, on balance, that's a blank from him. He was
Yes,
nowhere
he was
really
awful.
nowhere near points, and it's just. And I was seeing people are like, oh, like I'm happy with I kept Mo or I kept Bruno, like good. I'm happy with my call, like I think, and it's like Leeds against the top 4-6 team. If there's a good team, good attacker, it's just that's the captain pick. I don't know why that's still a discussion. It shouldn't be a discussion anymore.
Yeah, I mean, every week when you're thinking about captain, I think it should honestly start with who's playing Leeds, and then
Yeah,
go
definitely
from there.
agree. And if the
That's-
team is a mid-table bottom half, then it's like, all right, no one's trustworthy. So where else do I look?
Exactly, but
And,
that's
you
how
know,
I start every week. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we've been doing for a while, and I get it. It's like, okay, they score a pen, they got a fucking corner goal, they only had one open play goal, but they could have scored 5 or 6. You know, they had plenty of chances. The game was stretched, it was open.
Yeah,
I know
I
the
mean-
XG is not skyrocketed over there, but they had a lot of opportunities that the shot didn't get taken. And if you watch that game, you're looking at it like, this is where I want my guys to be playing.
That's what I was going to say regarding the XG. I mean, it's not. There's no perfect stat. Like, football is very hard to come up with numbers with, you know? And XG has its limits. And I always think back to when I began learning about XG and what it is and how it works, was that Germany-Mexico game in the World Cup, where Mexico just sliced them to fucking shreds over and over and over and over again. Yeah.
Lozano
Breakout Chucky game, and the XG was really low. It was like 1.1 or something. But that was the type of game where I was like, well, if you watched it, they could have scored like 5. They just kind of fucked up 1v1 multiple times, didn't get a shot off. And yeah, I mean, Spurs were just all over them. Like, they're just absolute joke. So, yeah. Also, Leeds have conceded the most pens in the league, so that's not really that unlikely. Also, you know, it's like that's who they are. They're one-on-one defending everywhere on the pitch. If you get beat, you might concede a pen. So
yeah.
all right, let's go to our teams. Kind of a quick run through. I mean, so what are you looking at? There's a bunch of cup games and shit. It's probably advisable to wait until late as possible for moves and everything with COVID and injuries and everything. So
yeah, I mean, I have a lot of guys playing this week, so I'm in good shape. Balbuena's a big problem now. He's, I guess, second choice, or Dawson just is too big to fail.
I mean, if you're
2 cleans and 2,
if you
can't
can
drop
kick
him.
someone, the enemy striker, in the head and get away with it and just knock him out of the game, then that you're a valuable asset to any team.
The enemy,
the enemy striker.
So, I mean, holding him doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So that's probably what I'm thinking about with my transfer.
Right. How many guys do you have playing this week, not including him? They're blinking anyway.
I have 9 plus Keenan Davis, so 9.125.
9.1. Yeah, I like that. He kind of looks good whenever he subs on.
Love him, fantastic player.
Yeah.
So I'd probably just do like a Balbuena to some other fucking piece of shit.
Who plays?
I mean, maybe someone gets hurt and I take a hit and do a double switch if one of my guys gets injured that I'm relying on. But I was looking at Yedlin. They get to play Sheffield United, and he's been looking like reasonable. I could also get Loughton, who's a better like long-term pick, but they play United, so that's probably not going to be points for me this week. Mm-hmm. And that's about it. I mean, I only have 4-4 to spend, so it's not like I have a ton of options there. I mean, Mari looks like, Gabriel could come back. Holding. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really near it, honestly.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
really
yeah.
nowhere near it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really it. I mean, either I'm looking at doing Yedlin or Lowton for Balbuena, or saving and just looking at my 2 frees next week with the double if I want to do something else with them. I don't know.
Right,
I have to look closer. I don't even really know how many players I have doubling. I haven't looked at it that hard.
We have a really long break that we're unaccustomed to. We have a Patreon pod on Sunday night, so there's a lot of time to think about shit. I also similarly need more time to think about it. I mean, I also have 9 guys, so 2-3 weeks ago I was thinking I'm definitely going to free hit. Then they added the fixtures. I'm pretty comfortable with 9 guys, so I'm probably going to chill. I mean, I'll think about going like Robbo to Cancelo or Mo to Kev or something like that. I don't think that's crazy. Otherwise, yeah, probably chilling. Team's good. Good call by you on Mitchell holding his place, getting the clean. So,
Mitchell, good.
I have them this week, so that's fine.
Good job by Mitchell.
What about cap this week? I mean, Bruno is going to be capped by, I imagine, upwards of 90% of people with the Burnley fixture, but it's kind of tough.
Yeah, I have it on him right now, but I didn't. I'm going to think about it more because this might be a week where I'm not going to stick with him. I
posted on our Twitter and in our Discord in the stats channel just a brief look at Bruno with Paul starting and without Paul starting. Because we've been talking about that, but I hadn't actually looked at the numbers, so I wanted to just check the hypothesis. And his numbers are way worse. It's not even remotely close when Paul starts.
When Paul plays? Yeah.
In open play.
For a while. Okay.
So that's
Good
worth considering
doesn't
because
matter
Paul is playing his fucking ass off right now and is pretty much
good.
nailing himself. Looks great. So it makes Bruno a little bit worse.
I kind of want Paul.
He's always an option.
He was so fucking good last game.
So
Holy
good.
shit. I love watching him so much.
It just makes you wish that he could be on a team where he could do that every week. Because watching him when he's good is the best. It's the fucking best.
But then they play Liverpool. Well, it's a double. They have Liverpool.
They have a double, though.
You can't go for Paulo with the fixtures are sweating. Yeah. There's just something about it with... I want to see what the... bookies are, because this is the fish. For some reason with Burnley, they know when Burnley are going to get fucking spanked.
Yeah.
They did the thing with City that game,
City.
right?
Yeah, all of a
if
sudden
the bookies are like way out
or something.
Then I'm like, okay, all right.
The thing is, what other caps do you even like? I mean, you could do a City defender.
I might go Rash.
Could do Rash. I don't really like capping Spurs or Villa in that game.
Cancelo is an option.
Yeah, honestly, I said City defender is an actual option.
Listen, insane. Laka, every game Cancelo's got an assist in him that he just doesn't do.
Laka is a road cap that I don't hate. Palace don't keep cleans this season. I know you wouldn't.
Me.
Okay.
I just kept it clean. Fucking asshole. Okay. Talking about Mitchell. Good call by you, Mitchell.
One out of every
we don't keep cleans.
Fixtures, they might keep it clean.
2 out of every 9. This next one as well.
Yeah. Listen, I will back them all the way. If they played Sheffield United every week to clean 38 out of 38 times, but they don't, unfortunately. But yeah,
Wolves Everton.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. I don't. What the hell are Wolves?
Wolves suck. They are a fucking bad team with fucked up players playing in every week. It's like 8 changes. And it's insane.
I left and missed most of that game, and I texted you like 3-3. Like, what the hell is happening?
Like that's it. Like
they had
DCL,
one big chance, and it was Odosawi, and he didn't even score.
It was the last header, last action of the game,
and they had an own goal and a pen. It was like, what the fuck, sloppy nightmare is this? Sloppy toppy, but. Yeah,
I think that there are going to be goals in that game. Neither of those teams, I think, are. I don't know. I think it's
kind of a fun. It's kind of a fun road week.
Bruno's going to be the house bet. Like he's going to be very, very huge captain percent.
I think people will still cap Kane and Son also because when you look at Villa, your brain is trained to be like they're a bottom 3 team.
It's Villa,
but they're good this year, so it's I don't know if I like it.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a good fixture. I could see a world where Son hauls. I mean, Cash is kind of left on an island, but he usually does well. But maybe Son just gets behind him 2 times and scores 2 goals or something like that. Yeah. But I don't like capping Kane in that game. And
it feels very reliant.
It's hard, man. It's really hard.
Yeah, this is a hard week.
It's a really hard week, which makes me want to go rogue. It makes me want to go rogue when it's a hard week.
But it's at the same time, it's a hard week, but everyone's going to be on Bruno.
Yes.
But I think we just don't view it like he's the best pick by a mile. Like it's going to reflect in the...
Yeah, I don't agree with how the percentages are going to go, which makes me want to go against it. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? With Paul, Bruno's numbers goes down. With Paul, I expect more from Rash and Tony. Because there's just, it's like, it makes the team better, but it makes Bruno worse individually for fantasy. Like,
I'm
Rash
just
is still
concerned
going to get
about,
lots of shots and chances.
Yeah, I'm just concerned more about Rash because if they're going to be doing like the 2 tight banks of 4, like that they're not going to be countered on, which they will, which makes Rash a lot worse.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know Man United like draw the opponent out by their nightmare chaos, whatever they do. But that is a concern for me if I want to go there.
I just flash back to Rash scoring against them last season because Burnley equalized or something in like the 91st minute, and then Rash actually had space to counter, and they scored in like stoppage time. I don't know. Yeah, tough cap week. We need more time and cups and COVID to think about it. I think.
I do like Rashford though. I do like Rashford as an option. I might give that a pop. I don't know.
I kind of like Laka.
But you don't have Laka, so what the fuck are you talking about?
To the listeners, you know.
So are you gonna stick on Bruno though? Because you have, I mean, is that your guy?
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, really.
Diash isn't an option.
Yeah, I wouldn't cap Diash. I'm low on options. I could transfer in an option. I could transfer in Raz or Kev or something. Go there.
Saka would be a huge punt.
Dude, Brighton.
Yeah, like, Brighton are all sorts. They're not a good team.
No chance that they clean any game, it seems like. There's so many moments. I mean, Dan Burn had a fucking match to remember.
Dude, you didn't even watch the game.
I watched the highlights.
Dan Burn was,
it was the Dan Burn
all
show.
Sorts. It was insane. Actual
Kids
insanity.
ripping down their Dan Burn posters from their bedroom wall, lighting them on fire. Burn, baby, burn. Rough.
Yeah.
Rough.
No, Dan Burn was single-handedly giving goals away left and right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
This is like the quickest part of the season right here. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know what's happening.
Enjoy your week off. We're not going to watch the Cup games. Yeah, well, let me slap asses first. We got 2 new signups. Jacob Garvey, Max Lee. In there. Slap your ass. Let's go. Any last words? This is your chance. If there's something else you want to talk about.
Yeah, let's just chat, man. What's going on?
What is going on?
I don't know. Giants didn't make the playoffs.
Giants didn't make the playoffs. That's the other football. Hurts you.
That's a ripperino.
Yeah, I bet on them too. I was with you.
Yeah, you did. I know.
Eagles
fucking
throw
Doug
the game. Absolute
throw job. He's Dan Burn.
Dan Burn lives on forever. Yeah, he had a Dan Burn compilation would be much appreciated from that match. If someone made or found that, I would love to watch that.
All right, let's get out of here.
Check us out at fmlfl.com. Follow us on Twitter at fmlflsportsbhr.com/fmlfl. Subscribe, rate,